Alright, it is April 10th. Give me a second. Turn my air conditioner on. Burning up. Whoops. Nice thing about this truck is it's got an air conditioning unit mounted to the back, and I can just keep my truck cool. I'm not sure how well it will work this summer when it gets real hot, July and August. Turn my optimized idle on. Alright, oh crap, I forgot to log off. It's alright, I can go back and edit it. So that was my post trip. I didn't actually do a post trip. I need to actually get out and do that. I'll do it after this video. I was working on the schematics for a guy in my comment section. So here's what I came up with. So I've only been here 4 months. So my average for now this is paid miles. If I go and look at my Nitrodyne system, Nitrodyne is basically a update. Okay, monthly. Once it gets done updating. Nitrodyne, here we go. Calibrates or records what I do by the minute. So if I'm doing 5 miles an hour, it's calculating by the minute at 5 miles per hour. So I don't know if it calculates my average speed, but my GPS does. Let me see here real quick. Oh, here it is. My average speed is about 56.9 miles per hour. According to that GPS. What the heck? And this one should be about the same. Actually, I don't know how that one works. I'm used to my old one. Anyways, alright, so Nitrodyne said I drove at 1,404 minutes. So, calculator. Why do I keep doing that? Calculator, here we go. Alright, so 10404 divided by, we'll say 57. 57 miles per hour. That's not right. Trying to figure out how to compute this. Okay, well, forget it. I'll figure it out later. Alright, let's clear all that out. Now, start fresh. Where's my... Here it is. Alright, so... Nitrodyne said I drove for 10,404 minutes. But again, that's at 57 miles per hour on average. So... But my paid miles is 6,729 miles. So let's do this. Find my calculator on my other phone. Alright, so 6,729 divided by 0.1. That's not right. 0.9. There we go. So my actual miles were probably closer to 7,476 miles. Because, you know, a lot of companies will only pay you 90% of the miles you actually drive. I don't know what my hub miles were because I didn't keep track of that. Maybe I should. So, let me see if I can go to my logbook real quick and see if it'll tell me what my average miles are for that month. I don't think it will. Nah, I don't think it does. I'd have to actually manually keep track. But anyhow, so that's why I prefer to get paid hub miles, because, you know, you're going to lose 10% of your miles off the bat. Now, apparently Celadon ended up getting sued and lost. And almost either went bankrupt or almost went bankrupt because they were paying computer miles instead of hub miles. And I don't remember all the technicalities of that. I heard it from another driver who read it in OOIDA's magazine. I think that's Owner Operator Independent Driver Association. I haven't paid much attention to them in a while because I haven't been an owner operator in a while. But yeah, apparently Celadon got sued for something like that and had to back pay all their drivers, and they pretty much went out of business. So hopefully maybe that'll change the industry. Maybe we'll start getting paid better, because Celadon had to back pay all those drivers, all those miles they screwed them out of technically. And I've been complaining about this in the industry for a long ass time, and nobody cares. You know, we're just stupid truck drivers. But and like I said, that's why I typically try to go work for people who pay hub miles. And or maybe percentage is the best way to go now. But the problem with percentage is a lot of these companies will double broker their loads, and they'll shave 10% off the top for themselves for brokering the load. And it's like, you know, it's kind of a ripoff too. So, I don't know. It's one half dozen another, I don't know. But anyhow, so that's one of my complaints, but that maybe reflects on HMD, but it reflects on, like, I would say maybe 75% of the companies out here. And yeah, I think it's crooked, but, you know, it's like part of the business, so you either accept it or you don't. And I kind of accepted it going in because it's a standard within the industry. So, but I'm still doing all right, you know. I'm still making $5,000 a month, you know. So, January was my lowest month. Now, this is just going off my pay stubs or my settlement sheets. I still can't access Paycom. This is how I'm supposed to access my pay stubs and my W-2, but I can't get in there. So, but anyhow. So this is just off my settlement sheets. So this is my gross. And now, bear in mind that I don't run as hard as some people, and I expect my 2 days off. I'm very adamant about my 2 days. I'll run 5, 7, 8 days a week, but as long as I get my 2 days off. Basically my thing is run me till I run out of hours, and I run legal-ish. I probably run more legal than most drivers, but I don't run 100% legal. And people say, well, you can't doctor computer logs, which is a bunch of crap. But, you can a little bit. With this company, you can't as much as I could with other companies. But, again, it can be done. And then, of course, safety can go in and manipulate it, too, to a degree. So it just all depends on the company and how they're set up. But, basically, when I get to the customer, I'll log, maybe 5 minutes for checking in. And then I'll log my minimum 20 minutes for loading or unloading. And then if I have to check out at a guard shack or someplace and it takes a couple minutes, I'll probably sometimes log 5 minutes checking out. So at the most, I'm logging about 30 minutes, give or take, at a customer. And for fuel, it's usually about 15 minutes, however long I'm there. I don't try to doctor it. I just log what I log, log what I do. When I'm in the shop, I'll log, 20 minutes. I log about 15 minutes or more pre-trip, and I do a post-trip. Even though I only have to do one, I do both. And then that way, if I need to doctor my log later, I can just get rid of the pre-trip, like if I'm running close to my hours or whatever, I'll just delete my pre-trip, and then I got my post-trip, whatever. So, and also, if I'm getting low on hours and safety wants me to have more hours, they'll go in and clean up my logs once in a while, and they'll drop, my pre-trips or one of my pre-trips or one of my post-trips, whatever, they'll just go in and like, okay, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of this. That's if I'm looking for more hours. I've done that a couple times. So, but I pretty much run legal, so I don't like running illegal. I have a philosophy: if I can't make money and run legal, I'm working for the wrong company, right? I'm not out here to get rich. I just, pay my bills, make decent money, have decent home time. I'm happy, right? So I would like this number, these miles to be closer to 10,000. But again, I probably am doing closer to 10,000. Well, I'm definitely doing closer to 10,000. I'm just not getting paid hub miles. So I wonder if I have documentation of what my miles were when I first started this company. I don't remember now. I should have documented that, but I didn't. So, yeah, I'll start trying to document that and see what my hub miles are versus my paid miles, and see what it comes out to. And of course, there's been a few times where they deadheaded me home or sent me home out of route a couple 100 miles, and I didn't get paid for that. That kind of ticks me off, but sometimes maybe you gotta bite the bullet because you're going home. It's like, well, what? Choose your battles, right? And so sometimes that's difficult for me because we want what we want. And then again, you know, the company wants what they want, and so it's not easy to find a win-win solution. You know, it's like any relationship, business or personal. You know, everybody has to compromise a little. If you expect the other person to compromise when you're not willing to compromise, then it's not a healthy relationship, whether it's business or personal. So you got to compromise a little. Just make sure that you're not the one doing all the compromising, right? So, and that can be tough. So, but yeah, this is my average. Let's see. Go back to Nitrodine. So Nitrodine says in December I did 1,404 minutes. So yeah, I was thinking I did 1,000 or 10,000 miles, but I really only did like 7,000 or 8,000 miles. Okay, so let's see here. January. Like I said, this is going off of my my settlement sheet, so it's not exactly January 1st to January 31st or December 1st to December 31st. I started like the day after or 2 days after Thanksgiving. So part of December's miles were actually some of November's miles. And so there might be some overlap, like March. So April Fool's was technically March, the last week of March, because I got paid on the 1st. And it was actually not the last week of March. This is for the week prior. You know, so technically my next payroll so I coulda, woulda, shoulda added this one in, because technically that was the last day of March, but this was April's pay, so I'm including it in April. So I could tack on another, you know, $1,200 and another 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, wait, 13, 1,600 miles, you know. But, and if we go back to my first one, oh, that was actually the first. So, yeah, we could add in. So my first paycheck wasn't that great. I mean, it's still almost $1,000. But then, what was it? I saw another one that was under 1,000. Not that one. There it is. Wait, what? Oh, I'm in the wrong file. That's why. Here we go. I think it's this one. Yeah. So, the second week of March, I think that's the one I had, I went home and I found 4 sick goats and 3 dead goats because my friend wasn't doing his job. And I had to take an extra day off or whatever, so I didn't get as many miles that week. But I had to take care of my goats, and that was a disaster. I had to jab them all in the neck with antibiotics and give them an injection, and then they all hated me, and I had to do that. I had to do that the first day I was home, and then I had to do that 3 days later. So I took an extra day off to make sure they had their injections. Because I knew I couldn't rely on my friend to do it, so I had to do it. And it was a pain in the butt. And I cringed the first time I stabbed one of my goats in the neck to give her the injection. I was like, oh, you know, it was total cringe. But I had to do it. I just had to do it. So it was tough. It still gives me the heebie-jeebies. You know. But anyways, so that was what happened that week. So that was on me. But anyways, yeah, so I don't really run as hard as some people. I don't like running HOS exempt. Now HOS exempt, you know, if you're, you know, balls to the wall, super trucker, whatever, you can run HOS exempt and get a buttload of miles. And basically HOS exempt is when you're hauling food. And but the problem with that is it throws off your schedule. See, I like to have a schedule. I like working. You know the old joke. If you're an old school driver, you know the old joke about solar powered trucks. And so that's basically me. I got a solar powered truck. I literally actually had a solar powered truck at one time. But that's another story. I'll tell you about that later. But anyhow, I literally like to run sun up to sundown. You know, when the sun goes down, it's pretty near hard to find parking. So, you know, especially East Coast. That's why I like to stay in the flyover states, because you go east, you gotta find, the further east you go, the earlier you gotta shut down, which means the earlier you gotta wake up. And I'm not an early bird. You know, I can get up at maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. But if I get up too early, I'm struggling. And then I gotta stop and take a power nap, because I just can't do it, you know. I've been a night owl my whole life, but I'm getting better at getting up earlier. So what I try to do is I try to force myself to get up early and shut down early. But in doing that, I gotta take energy herbs and drink an energy drink, which, if you go to Aldi's, there's a really good, somewhat healthy energy drink at Aldi's called Gridlock. It's only $1, and it tastes good, and it works. I love it. And like I said, it's not got a lot of bad chemicals in it. It's one of the healthiest, affordable energy drinks that actually taste good. And like I said, probably in a previous video, if you want organic, you're going to probably pay a lot more for it. But this is the best bang for the buck that I could find. I'm health conscious, so what I try to do is I try to find the healthiest thing that I can find for the most affordable price and taste good. So it's like a win-win-win. Yeah, I might make some sacrifices here and there, and it depends on what the product is. If I want it, I just get it. You know, it just depends on how bad I want it. I don't even look at the ingredients or the price. I just buy it because I want it and I can afford it. But and other times, you know, I'm picky about the ingredients and I don't look at the price. I just get it because it's healthy. And you know, so it just, you know, it just depends on the product and what I'm looking at. But anyways, that's another topic. Which reminds me, the flowers and everything is blooming, so I'm gonna be doing some foraging and exploring videos soon. So check out freefoodandmedicine.org, where I talk about, you know, wild edibles and wild crafting and foraging for food and medicine. But anyways, okay, so, and I might post a couple of those videos here in the future, because I'll do it out here on the road. That's what I used to do in the past before Google terminated my YouTube account, but I'm kind of starting to get back in the game. So anyhow, yeah, this is my average. I don't I don't run hardcore. You know, I'm trying to do my 2,000, 2,500 miles a week and then go home and take my 2 days off. But with this company, you're in the dock every day, almost every day. And, or I'm sorry, pretty much every day you're in the dock. However, sometimes you're in the dock twice. So a lot of times it's like I'll do my run in the morning. Okay. So like, for example, I deliver tomorrow, I go home. Whatever time I get home tomorrow, I'll tell them, okay, so it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll tell them the time I get home tomorrow will be the time I can leave Wednesday. That'll give me my 48 hours off. Right? So I'll be like, all right, I'll be ready to roll 48 hours from now. Bang. Probably noonish, right? Because I deliver at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So they may or may not have me a load Wednesday, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not tripping. So I'll pick up a load either Wednesday or Thursday. Now, if I pick up a load Thursday morning, then I'll potentially get there that night or close to the customer that night, because they only run about 500 miles a day. Or a load. So I'll get to the customer, I'll deliver the next morning. But then it depends on my dispatcher. Like my first dispatcher, he had me a load ready before I was even either at the customer or before I was unloaded. I already had another load. So I was like go, go, go. Even though I got about the same miles in March as I did in December. Like I said, some of that's overlap. I have to go back and look at March for the first week of March's paycheck and see if there was some miles on February in there. But anyways, so I'm averaging 6,500, 6,600 miles a month, which isn't too bad. I mean, ideally you would want 2,500. I mean, not 25, 10,000. Here it is. I got 5 phones here. I don't know which one I'm grabbing. All right, so that's basically a week's worth of miles that I'm short per month. But again, I'm making $5,000 a month, so I'm not complaining. I'm in the dock every day pretty much, and I hate doing 34-hour resets on the road. I've only had to do that once with this company so far. Like I said, I don't mind staying out for a whole week and then taking my 2 days off. But these guys seem to want you to go home every weekend. But they also seem to want you to only take a 34-hour reset. And I got a problem with that. So it's like, no. Even if I did a 34-hour reset, I would say my reset would start after, like, say if I get home, for example, I got home tonight, and pretty much I couldn't get anything done. I had to go to bed. If I did a 34-hour reset, then my 34-hour reset should start when I wake up the next morning and I actually have some home time. Because when you're in a sleeper, that shouldn't really count, right? If you get home and you have to pretty much go straight to bed because you're exhausted, you've been driving all day, that first night shouldn't count for your 34 hours, right? So that first night shouldn't count for your home time at all, period. And then you start your clock when you wake up the next morning. Now, if you get home in the middle of the day and you got some time, or you get home in the morning and you got some time to do stuff at home, then you start your clock at that time, right? That's cool. But if you get home at night and you go straight to bed because you're exhausted and you ain't got time to do nothing, your clock shouldn't start till the next morning. So, so my deal is, you know, run me out here on the road till I run out of hours or get low on hours and get me a load going home. Bam. You know, pretty simple. Let me do my 2-day reset at home. You know, there was a few years ago, they changed the reset rules to where you had to have 2 consecutive nights off before the reset would actually work. And I liked that, but a lot of people didn't, so they got rid of it. But that works definitely best when you're home. But if you're on the road, it may not work as good. You know, because you don't want a lot of downtime when you're on the road. You know, over the road drivers, you know, you got to do resets. So, but again, like I said, I don't like to kill myself. I pretty much run daylight hours. I get up around 5 or 6, maybe 7 a.m. Run to about 7 p.m. and I go to bed. And you know, I get up 10 hours later, do it again. But that's how I run. If you did HOS exempt, you'll get more hours, but it'll be sporadic. So if you're hauling food, and I think that's the only HOS exempt thing right now. There might be some other things, and it changes. The way that works is you basically drive till you run out of hours, and then you go off-duty personal conveyance HOS exempt. And like I said, right now it only works if you're hauling food. People food or certain animal food. The animal food is like touchy. It's like fine. It's a fine line. So technically, with the last company I worked for, since I hauled cattle feed all the time, I could have ran HOS exempt a lot and made some fat dollars. But you know, I don't like to run. I don't like to run like that. But see, I didn't know about HOS exempt at that time. You know, I just didn't know. I didn't know that till I came here. But anyway, so the way HOS exemption works is you run till you run out of hours, then you go off duty personal conveyance, HOS exempt, until you get to the customer. And then when you get to the customer, you do your on-duty unload, and then you have to take a 10-hour break. After that, boom, you can fly, you know. And that's what I did on my last load. And it was good and bad. I hate doing it, but it kind of worked out this time. For me, most of the time it hasn't worked out, but this time it kind of worked out. So I was like, all right, cool. But I was exhausted. I had to drive till midnight, and I was worn out. And then I didn't get it. Well, I drove till like 11 o'clock at night, and I took a bunch of power naps between waiting to get in the door. Then I had to put the trailer in the door, drop the trailer, then go to a staging area, check in, and I went back to sleep. And then they called me. I had to get a lumper money, and then I took another power nap while I was waiting on that. Then I took my lumper fee in, got whatever lumper number in, or my TCH or EFS number in, paid for that, hooked to the trailer, went to a different staging area, and basically went back to bed till morning. So that was like 1 o'clock before I got into bed. Actually got some rest, and then I got up at like 7 or 8 because that's like my internal clock says get up. So I got up, went off duty personal conveyance to a truck stop, and then I had to go in the shop because I had a radiator leak. I thought, okay, I'm off duty, let me take advantage of this off duty time. I'm awake now because it's just my normal waking hours. So I put the truck in the shop, got that done, but I still had issues, so it was a mess. But it still worked out, you know. So um, sometimes messes work out, sometimes they don't. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know how long this is. 30 minutes. So I'm gonna close this out. But yeah, this is basically my average. I'm not doing too bad, but it's not like I'm a local driver, but it almost feels like I'm a local driver because I am in the dock every day, you know. So yeah, so there you go.